Okay, this may be a really challenge to try and understand this one. But I'm seeing some people kind of grasp where I'm coming from on a lot of different topics. So I'll try and explain this one as well, in hopes that you truly understand where I'm coming from. It is easy as the observer to judge everything that's going on outside in your environment. I can judge your personality. I can judge who you are. I can predict, what you're going to do based on what your rules in your life are. That I hate potatoes, so every time I serve you potatoes, I can predict the future that if I serve you potatoes, you're going to say, I don't want to eat it. But with a little bit more information, I know that if I starve you enough and, make you want potatoes, then one day you'll say, okay, I'll try that. And that's really wild how that example just popped into my head, because in a lot of ways that's what's going on. It's suppress you from the information long enough so that you'll really, really want it. And that's almost like how heaven gets created. It's like you think you got to do everything wrong and die from it and then get to heaven. No. It's about learning everything that's wrong and, maybe suppressing the information long enough so that you'll really, really want the information when it shows up. And what is it? It's the solution. It's everything you're looking for. But we create what we experience. We tell the stories of what we experience. We make all our judgments about all of our experience based on how you're feeling. Your feelings are what attracts your experience, because your feelings control how you're going to look at things. Either the glass is half empty or half full. If you're in a good, positive mood and all that, it's so easy to say the glass is half full. But if you see nothing but destruction, loss, 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 and everybody's doing so much harm to me, then I'm always going to view my world as less than. It will affect how I feel, affects how I look at my world. So, while we're out there judging everybody else, while I'm out there saying all Christians want to just die and want Armageddon and, they're the reason of the whole friggin' planet being destroyed, I got this smoking addiction. And like I say, needed to find the truth of what's going on. I had a pretty good idea what God is. Can't see anybody else seeing what I see about God, but I've had conversations with the guy. Needed to have the science to prove, is this real or is this not real? Because it kind of sounds a little crazy and nobody knows what's going on. So I found some science that says you can talk to God. God does exist. There's patterns within patterns. There is a parent of us. Just like I gave birth, I am a God in a way to my kids. I gave them birth to something, which they don't want to hear any answers from their parent. Oh, similar to we don't want any answers from God, it seems. But where was I going with this? Just as you can communicate with God, you can also communicate with evil. And if evil is all of your problems, everything is attached to, all your horrible feelings are blamed on Satan, then technically all your problems are evil. And wouldn't you want to know what it wants? Like, wouldn't you want to sit to a peace table with evil and say, okay, what the hell is it that you want? I mean, in a world of possibilities, we live in a world where we think world peace is impossible. That's why we'll never ever create it, because our belief system says world peace is impossible, and so it shall be. We create what we believe. So, but if you're in this magical world of, okay, let's believe it's possible that you can actually have peace, I would assume that I need to sit down at a table and talk with my enemy, find out what it wants. I know I kind of look like him. He's a little angry. I'm a little angry because I want something, and I'm pretty sure he wants something. If I put myself in the same shoes as him and see my own behaviors the same as him, I'm looking a lot like him. And I have something to say, and I really want to be heard. So I'm going to listen to what he's got to say and, see if it's an equal thing. And turns out, when I have a conversation with evil, evil is lacking information. And evil is willing to say, okay, prove it to me. And that's what my smoking addiction says. My smoking addiction says death is much better. It feels so much better if we're all dead. That's where peace is. It's impossible to get world peace. It's impossible to experience heaven on earth. Those are impossible things. Yet we live in a world of possibilities. So that doesn't make any sense to me when I'm talking to evil. When I'm talking to my smoking addiction, keeps saying, Judy, it's impossible to change the world. The world does not want change. The world wants to die. The world is evil. It feels horrible. That kind of influences me. I can tell evil that, no, it is possible. I can tell my smoking addiction it's possible, but then my smoking addiction says, prove it to me. So I have to prove how to live and how to create world peace within my own experience. And when I do that, then my smoking addiction proof will be gone, because evil will be proven that good overcomes evil. So I am kind of looking for the universe to sort of be on the same page as me, because it's really, really hard to create those chemicals that want to live in order for me to create the experiences that prove to evil that the will to live can actually overcome and create world peace and heaven on earth. We need to prove to evil how it's done. And I have to admit, I'm trying to fake it as much as I possibly can, and I am in process with evil and my smoking addiction to prove, no, this is how it's supposed to be done. And I know, it's like I have my own recipe book to know how to be successful at this. I know perfectly well I got to, find a way to quit smoking. If I work out in the mornings, which I started to do, but I went a little gung-ho. I didn't listen to my own intuition, and as little exercise as I did apparently was a little too much for me. So now I'm on a week taking time off to recoup the muscles and go at this a little bit slower than what I did. Probably only 3 days a week instead of every friggin' day, because that's what I know. When I wake up and I have something that gets my body flowing in a healthy direction, then I start getting addicted to that. I know it feels good, and I'll cling to that. But then it could be just one statement, like the bus driver holding me hostage in a bus for quite a while. It felt like a long time, with other people that were upset too, that weren't scared to say anything. That kind of went for the smoke. Like, I'm still affected by my environment, and I know that's a lesson that all of us need to learn, is in order to beat evil, your emotions, you have to be in control of your emotions, because that is where the free will starts from. On a quantum level, it starts from what you want to feel. And basically, in order to overcome evil, you're going to have to feel as loving as possible while shit is coming down. You gotta feel, and if you just have what's going on in your life now and it's shit, Try to feel as good as you possibly can. Fake it till you make it. Try and say good things. Try and say you have a will to live, just don't know how yet. Or, just believe in the impossible and try to create those chemicals that the impossible is actually possible. And then you stay together with like-minded people, and soon that will grow. Once you have that atmosphere of hope and direction, and then you gain strength in the chemicals that you create. And then technically what you're doing, and this is like mechanically, you can prove this within science, that if you can get a wavelength of people holding that chemical experience, it will go out in a wave, and it will put an effect out into the planet, and it will force an attraction. So it's like intention is massively powerful, but you have to control your emotions. And I know that I'm failing. Every time I have a smoke, I am not putting out the sufficient level of that love and feeling, that loving for life. I'm not going to inspire you to want to live. You're not going to hear my words and get that, yeah, we need to live, that's the goal. You're not going to get it from me as long as I'm smoking, because there's going to be some kind of attitude or some kind of word or some kind of phrase or some kind of belief that in some way might encourage, well, yeah, I know it sucks and death is, looking a lot better, but it is such a wrong direction to go into. And I know I don't even follow that advice, because those emotions are so freaking powerful, they can make you go for another cigarette. And it's not a depression or anything. We are all, humanity has more of a will to die because there's no reason to live. Even people that are wealthy, that are controlling us, they know more than anything that stuff doesn't buy happiness, because they don't know what happiness is. They don't know what connection with humanity is. They are so lost in everything that is so wrong that they don't know the right direction either. So it's just because they're money doesn't mean that they're smart and they're doing this intentionally. They're doing it because they're trying to save the world, and save the world into it's peaceful once you're all dead. And if we can just convince everybody to kill themselves, then everybody on the planet will experience peace. They see themselves as a hero because they don't see any other possibility. So it's like, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing. But I need to grasp my emotions and have that will to live. So I'm really asking to form a network of strong people that really have a strong urge, will, want, and desire to live. Because you won't solve not one problem in today's global problem unless you have a will to live. Without that, we're doomed, and evil will prevail, because evil is saying, prove it. Let's see who, if you're competitive, if you like sports, if you like games, get control of your emotions and beat evil at its game. You can kill evil off the planet just by being able to control your emotions just long enough for you to gain some information, so you can overpower evil just by knowing more shit than he knows. It's not that difficult. But I need people to be on the same page as me, so at least I can be that start of the wave. Not that I'm a leader. It's like I want other people to do it. It's like you gotta want it. Peace out.